Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our third quarterfinal matchup. I'm Dean Baer, the voice of the IRT, and I'm with legend Marty Hogan. Marty, first of all, welcome to the broadcast booth.
This is great, Dean. This is fantastic. It's the first time in a long time that I have seen the pros play, and it's quite amazing. It really is fantastic. And thanks for the invite. This was great.
Anytime. Well, we got a really good one coming up right here. We got Adam Menia taking on Alex Landa. These guys met at our last event, Marty, and surprisingly, that you were pretty surprised to learn that Adam Menia took him out in 3 and an 11-8 tiebreaker in the round of 16s, mind you.
I was stunned for that result because I think that Landa's game is just is so impressive. I mean, he has everything, and I just it's amazing to me the ability levels of these pros. And even though I think that maybe Landa should win, almost all the guys on a given day possess the weapons. They do. They possess the weapons to win.
It's interesting that you use the word weapon because my brother always used that we always used to use that to our other brother. Like, you don't have a weapon and you need a weapon. Landa's weapon is his power. I mean, he really smacks that ball. But then we flip side to Adam Menia. When we flip to Adam Menia, you're going to see a lot of control, a lot of really, really smart decisions.
No question.
You don't find that a lot from a lot of players that really use their brain to play racquetball.
Well, they try to match fire with fire out there as we get started. But, different playing styles will affect, power players and stuff. And I've always felt like you have to constantly be mixing it up, unless your game is just predicated on solely power.
Adam Menia comes in at 27 years old, 52 wins, 36 losses. That's almost a 60% career win-loss percentage. And Landa at 34 years old comes in at 143 to 79, and that's like almost a 65%. So these guys are, as far as their win-loss ratio, pretty even up there.
Pretty similar and stuff, but I'm still a little bit amazed because I just think that Landa has so much more experience, and that should help him to prevail and stuff. But we'll see.
Yeah, Landa's got almost 20 years on tour. He's got 19 and Adam Menia's 10. So
wow.
You're absolutely right with the experience part.
And that matters. That matters a whole lot in racquetball.
Got head referee Bobby Horn. Got line judges in this match. Down the line, absolutely perfect for Adam Menia. Gets back in the service box at 2-0 on the Head Pen scoreboard. Head Pen is not only the scoreboard sponsor of the IRT, they're not just the official ball, they're the industry leader in all things racquetball. Check them out online today, www.head.com/racquetball. Dean Baer and the legend Marty Hogan in the booth with me. So first of all, Marty, I want to welcome you to New York. When we talked about having you come to the event, I was pretty excited about the possibility. We got Cliff Swain here. Unfortunately, Cliff is out in the 50s. And you're still trolling. So
well, Cliff, let me just say one thing about Cliff. He's not dumb. He knew that if he was to win, we were going to collide. And kiddingly, he wants to have a better day than running into me.
Wow. Yeah, and I think it's great. I think the rivalry, and that's what's different in the 80s today, is a lot of the players are friendly with each other. They hang out all the time, and I think there was a lot more animosity against each other. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. Let me be clear about it. I like that they're friends, but I think once you walk through that glass door, I mean, the gloves have to come off.
Yeah, they really do. And I think there's a respect level of the older generation of players and stuff that when we walk on the court, or even when we come to a tournament, I mean, it's an extremely competitive thing. I mean, back in the day, there was just a lot riding on winning in racquetball and stuff. A lot of sponsorship, endorsement, and a lot of companies wanting to be involved with you and whatever. And we're talking like companies outside of the racquetball industries, giants and stuff. So there was a little bit of a different kind of competitive element to racquetball back then than there is now and stuff. But you know what? The one thing that I am just thoroughly impressed with is how respectful these guys are to each other when they're on the court playing. And the honesty too, the honesty of calling balls on themselves and stuff is just a great competitive trait. And these guys are, I mean, I'm just simply amazed.
They're
I'm
pretty
amazed at
fit,
this
right?
Oh my gosh! I mean, their hand-eye ability and also too, they've really learned to take advantage of the equipment, of just how powerful and explosive these new rackets are.
Yeah, they're not heavy like those older ones, 250 grams. That was an equipment timeout. Speaking of rackets, Adam's tether, the string on the bottom, his wrist cord on the bottom of his racket kind of came out, and that needs to be secured and fixed immediately due to danger. So these games are 2-15, tiebreakers 2-11. Landa in the front, he's wearing the white, and Adam Menia in the back, and I'm in the booth. My name is Dean Bear. I'm with Marty Hogan, a legend of racquetball, indoor, outdoor. Marty, when you talked already about the equipment, what else do you see that's different in the game today that it was back then?
I think that the biggest, obviously, the biggest change has been the equipment, the racket, and just the development of all the new materials and how light but how strong the racket frames have been. And that's why the racket, basically, not only in racquetball, but in tennis, even in golf shafts, a number of different areas where you can find the good graphite materials that are strong and able to take, basically the amount of force that is generated and then still have great playability. And that's what these players have been able to do. And that's why all weights in all categories have dropped. We used to play with, as you were saying, 250, 270 gram rackets, which would seem like a club compared to rackets nowadays. Most of the pros I've seen are playing in the 160 to 170 range, and that's extremely light. But with the rackets being light, there still is an element of control that these guys have that is just far superior than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, and the ball too. The ball is much different.
The ball is different. We played with a lot of different kind of balls as racquetball was growing, the testing of the speeds of everything. But I really like how this pen ball plays, the purple ball basically. It's got a good, solid, consistent bounce, and we play with it literally almost everywhere in all the events and everything. So it's
you played with it yesterday in your doubles match, so I watched a little there. I got a little nostalgia. Norm McNutt in the chat box says live streams, getting to watch these matches live versus waiting for a month for the next Racquetball magazine to hit the mailbox. That's an excellent point. So accessibility to the game is much different here today.
It is much different, but then and in the way racquetball and actually the way it's televised here with the IRT network, and then also some of the great websites that really support racquetball, like Norm's site, like keep Racquetball Great, that website. It basically is the site of racquetball for information, all information on racquetball. And there's over 8,000 people that belong to it. I recommend everybody who's a racquetball enthusiast who wants to kind of keep in touch with racquetball, learn, and can go on and ask any question about your game or whatever. It's the source of racquetball, absolutely. And I thank Norm for doing it, even though sometimes Norm gets out of bounds with his kind of comments and whatever. And but I can guarantee everybody Norm's heart is in the right place, and he's done a lot of great, wonderful things for promoting racquetball.
There you have it. Also want to say a big shout-out to Erica Menia, Adam's little sister. She's watching probably in North Carolina. They're at a Grand Slam event.
Yeah, the Pro
for the
Tour event
ladies.
down there, the ladies. It's kind of strange that both events are running the same weekend.
Yeah, it's actually nice. You know, people can go and watch racquetball all over. It's pretty nice.
That is nice. It is great.
Alex Landa in the back. Menia is serving. Gonna do a score check. What a blast down line. Look at that power, Marty.
Incredible. And that's what impresses me most about Landa is he is, you know, he's not particularly the biggest guy, but his racket skill technique of swinging is just incredible. How much speed and power he can generate. He's, you know, one of the hard. I mean, they're all hard hitters at the pro level. Very hard hitters, harder than any you know, regular kind of playing or tournament player and stuff. Pros just have the ability just to gain leverage on that ball and hit it at just incredible speeds.
They can kill the ball from almost anywhere. We got a lot of local sponsors. I put on this event here, the 2020 New York Open, but it's an absolute team. I really got to thank my brother Richie for taking care of all the food and my son for working the tournament booth. But CAC is a construction company. They pride themselves on giving the employees unlimited opportunities. Also, Bear Financial Services and New York Life. There's a whole bunch of local sponsors I want to give a quick shout out to. Peter Vella, 360-degree consultant, Mr. Slimo of Oregon. Conrad Marciano is a big help. Mike and Karen Grizz, they support racquetball everywhere. Cerny Logistics, Cactus Salon, Team Dovetail, Zurich Construction, Dr. Spencer Colden, That's Entertainment, and Gallery Furniture of Medford. All those guys really stepped up and really helped put on this event. I really got to thank the staff here at the Long Island Health and Racket Club in Wantagh, Long Island. Rich Halpern, the owner, Richie Shute, and Bob Supple. The staff here, absolutely phenomenal.
Another, you know, a game that's pretty tight and stuff here. We kind of expected it early, as there's always a feeling out period to early games and matches in racquetball, and I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah, players take a quick timeout. We'll take a quick break, too. We'll be back right here on IRT Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you get one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and you get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or get my classic premium MyPillow and get another one absolutely.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 9-5 on the headpen scoreboard. It was a nice lead by Adam, but Landa really came back and kind of pushed that envelope. Set up, Landa rips it cross court for a winner. Want to give a big shout out to the friends of the tour. This weekend friends are Gene Fry, David Kerr, Bob Jackson, Brad Levine, and Jonathan Zacconi. And there's a couple that want to remain anonymous. So if you want to be a friend of the tour, please give me an email, dean@irt-tour.com. We appreciate all the support. Thank everybody for donating stars. Set up, Menia lefty. Backhand to Landa, skipped it in. A little loose mistakes. Marty, when you're playing tight matches or you're making mistakes like this, what is the thought process that kind of goes through your head, like when you're taking what shot you want to take?
I think that the whole time you're out there, you're trying to kind of impose your game on your opponent, meaning you want him to basically not play his game and get him to play into your rhythm. And if you can do that, that's kind of like the secret of finding success. And here we go. I mean, when you find two different kind of like game styles and stuff, you may find that a player may just want to just play to what I consider one side of the court hard, like someone's backhand, or maybe just keep a lot of different kind of deep angles to keep players out of the front court and keep to keep you to have position, which positioning is everything at the pro level, and it's everything at every level. You want to be able to control the front court, because if you have that, that means your opponent is behind you, and it just opens up more winning
Opportunities,
opportunities and stuff to score points.
So a lot of players today have, they train and they coach. Back in the day, did you used to practice? Was that a thing? Did you have like a game plan when you went into matches against certain people?
I did have a game plan against almost everyone I played with. Most of the time, I knew who I was playing. I knew what their strengths were, what their kind of like their weaknesses were. And of course I would, I'd go to work on that. But the main thing is we practiced and played, countless hours and stuff. Because even after you play in an event, of course, if you lose, it's a lot easier to find things to work on, because you obviously, if you lost, you were doing something not as good as your opponents were doing, and you needed to work on it. But yeah, you just basically want to try to get players to play out of their comfort level.
Well, Adam Menia is doing a pretty good job of that. He's crawling back into this game. It's 8 serves 10.
Yeah, he's crawled back. He has.
Adam just killed the ball. Landa really thought it skipped. He looked back at some of the people in the crowd. Again, not having your own coach, I think that's really the one thing that's really missing. I want these players to have, coaches, someone, and not friends. It's someone whose their only interest is for them. Like when a friend helps you, they still have their agenda in the back of their head. And just a true coaching system. I think that's what we're missing.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you what, it's always so much better to have more eyes on your game than just you. You don't see everything that necessarily during the course of a match of what's going on. But a good coach, he could understand the rhythm of the game, the shot selection, and the coach can see things that that you can't see as a player, such as a lot of times when points aren't being played, you can see body mannerisms or whatever if somebody's favoring something or whatever that can be picked up by a coach. There's no question that if somebody if a player, especially a player that's looking to be the best player, he should definitely seek out somebody that has his best interest and has great knowledge of other people's abilities, so that you can dissect their game and just help you to gain an advantage
and kind of help create a game plan.
No question. That's a coach's responsibility is not only a game time, but a coach's responsibility has a lot to do with, training, the mental aspect, everything to do with everything has to do with your playing career. Take a look at all the top tennis players in the world. They have big staffs that help them. And I'm not saying the racquetball players, everybody needs a big staff, but it's always good to have somebody who knows you, knows your game ability and stuff, but can help you fine tune so that you can take the next level.
I want to say thank you to Keith Miner for sending 2,000 stars. We got the star system with Facebook, so 100% of all the proceeds from the stars that the IRT gets will be directly positioned for player prize money.
Oh, that's great.
And when we're a little bit short, the IRT is going to kick in the rest. So this is the first tournament we started increasing the prize money from the stars donation. So we want to thank everyone who's ever given us stars. this is an IRT 700. All of our events were 600, and the difference is now every round they win, the prize money goes up $700.
That's
and then
marvelous.
the winner gets a $700 bonus on top of that. So that's the system that Commissioner Pablo Farje came up with, and it's working fabulous.
Great idea. Great idea.
Back to the action on center court. We got Alex Landa and Adam Menia. Landa took out Sebastian Fernandez in 15, 14, 15, 13, and Menia had a great match against a great win against Eduardo Portillo, and that was an 11-7 breaker. So
both of them had tough routes to get here, because I saw that Landa match and that he was in a war
with Sebastian.
Yes, he was in a war, and Sebastian kind of like let him off the hook. He really had him, especially in that second game. He had a big lead and allowed him back into the game. He has a highly impressive game and is gonna be somebody to be reckoned with in the future.
Menia back in the service box at 9-12. Menia, the lefty. You'll see him crouch down. He's probably going to make a nice serve to Alex's backhand. There it is. And that's an ace serve right there.
That's tremendous. I honestly believe this too, Dean. The lefties have a little bit of a natural advantage because of the way they look how he sets up. Now, if he goes to the right, that ball crosses across the front of his body, so the player is doesn't have full sight of the ball 100% of the time, and just that split second could make a difference in the advantage of having a serve and stuff. So I think the lefties, and that's why they kind of like line up right next to that line, make it real tight and stuff. So when they go down the line 2 or 3 times, they can come across their body and make it that much easier to judge where the serve is going.
It's a good serve by Landa, and he buries one into the ground.
Just an unforced error. Just sometimes impatience,
MyPillow is one of the first outside industry partners. Not only do they have amazing pillows, they have slippers, mattress toppers, robes, much, much more, proudly made in the USA. I must say, check out the slippers. I just got them the other day, and you should too. Visit mypillow.com and use promotion code IRT for amazing discounts today. I want to thank them for being a sponsor of the tour. You're watching free racquetball because of the sponsors of the IRT, so we thank them. Racquetball used to have to pay to watch. It's nice now. Get a little bit of freebie.
It's great.
More stars from Omar. Thank you guys for donating. Kevin, we appreciate all the stars donations. Short serve. Landa's not a guy that likes to take his time. Like even when he's going to lob serve, you get that ball, it's like out of his hand instantly. Was that something that you did? Because I remember watching some videos. You took a lot of time kind of making that serve.
It really depends upon, once again, who you're playing and what their game style is. I could see where Landa right now is kind of like trying to move the play along a little bit, and trying to keep the momentum. One thing that I don't like, or I should say that maybe the IRT should look at, is how long it takes for the pros to get back into the service box to serve. I just think that something, the bouncing of the ball on a lot of the different walls and whatever, and then, I was like, even taking now,
I love
it takes
racquetball.
like right around 30 seconds,
So, if you ever out there looking for me,
or
let
even
me
sometimes
know
longer
where
to get the play back going again. And I just think that there should be a little bit more of a restricted time in between rallies, that you have to be back in the service box and get playing.
Good poke off the back wall, but here comes another
Great
setup.
cat.
Oh, he left it up. Penalty.
Yeah.
Landa makes him pay.
At this level, if you this is, it becomes a game of errors. If you make an error, meaning that you have a setup and you don't put it away, you are going to pay for it. The guys at this level, they just rarely miss.
Look, there's a pinch from Menia, and Landa's right there. Oh, skipped in.
Another one, unforced error.
Marty, take me back to, I think I asked you this on Outside the Rally. Take me back to 1974. You're in Louisville, Kentucky. You're playing your first tournament, and you got the round of 16s, and you're up against Charlie Brumfield. What was the thought going through your head there?
The thought was to try to score a point.
Well, you went to game 3.
Yeah, I mean, he was, no question, it was the best player in the world at the time, and I'm just trying to come up. I'm just trying to gain experience. I mean, I played I don't remember exactly all the rallies and whatever. I played him pretty tough in about a game and a half, and but he pretty much was just such a phenomenal player and stuff like that. A lot of times I kid him that he gave me a lot of charity. He gave me a lot of those points and whatever, even though he swore he didn't. But trying to help me with my game because I was so much younger and everything of everybody else, just trying to establish myself and whatever. But at that stage, everything is about just learning and gaining experience, and that was in those early games, those early real tough matches, you learn a little bit. I always said that, the most important thing about losing is it's one thing to lose, but then again, if you can learn from your losses and you come back the next time, then it wasn't a total loss in that match.
What can you say to some of the fans at home that are watching to entice them to come watch an event live?
Well, there's nothing like it. There's just absolutely nothing like it. There's only a certain level of appreciation that you can get in watching a sport that's so fast, so dynamic, and to see how the little idiosyncrasies of the pro level of the player is just absolutely, there's nothing like it. And I guarantee anybody, if they ever came and saw top professionals play, it would be an extremely wow situation. Extremely. They're incredible. The athletic hand-eye coordination of these kids, I call them kids, they're in their 20s and 30s and
You were
whatever.
once a kid.
Yeah, that seemed like yesterday. And then but they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal players. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, we talked earlier about Landa and just not winning some big matches as of late. I mean, he went to the World Championships and won, so I can't say that. I must say, on the pro side, hasn't gone to the finals in a while. It would be nice to see Landa get that groove back.
He has the game for it. And a lot of times at the high level, it's about getting that edge. Getting it and then keeping the edge. And then a lot of times the edge is kind of looked at as like a confidence kind of thing, where you kind of like lose a little bit of confidence. But there's no question that when somebody has everything, all the components of a great game, which he does, he should see a lot more success.
Yeah, Sudsy's in the chat box sending stars. Thank you, Sudsy. I believe you're going to be playing with Alex Landa in the USA Racquetball Nationals, but this could be a preview of one of the team qualifier matches in Texas in a couple weeks. Both of these guys are playing for vying for a spot on Team USA. That's an excellent point.
Oh, wow.
Sudsy, thank you for that. There's Landa set up. Menia's right there, pinched it into the corner. I think he's calling a skip. 1 up, 2 up, appeal used, call stands. That was an appeal for a serve, short serve. 12-14 on the head pen scoreboard. IRT wants to give a special thanks to Gearbox for being one of our inside industry partners. Check out all the latest and innovative equipment from Gearbox. Gearbox supports not only the sport of racquetball, but many athletes as well. Check them out online, www.gearboxsports.com. Menia drive serve to the forehand, comes up short, second serve. Couple of the local sponsors we need to thank: Banana Realty, Galvez Design, Casa del Toro, Williams Accounting, Jack Goldberg, Rab components, Titan security, prime time. Good get there by Adam Menia. Landa again down the line. Menia skipped in the pinch. That's pressure. Anytime you're diving, getting the ball, you're telling your opponent you better hit it lower. And
Yeah, there's
Adam
a
skipped
lot of pressure and stuff, too, and the score has a lot to do with that, too.
at 12-14.
Yes, every mistake is modified.
But, you know, some people have the thought process that, you know, point one is just as important as 14. But psychologically, I think we as players, even on the amateur side and the professional side, when it comes down to the end of the line, the pressure goes up.
It does go up, and the points are all points are important, but the points become bigger. Will he get credit for the ace?
Sir.
Oh my goodness! Overruled for the win.
Overruled for the win. Landa, 15-12, game one in the books. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. Dean Bear, Marty Hogan, right here in the booth. We'll be back on IRT Live.
I love racquetball. So if you're ever out there looking for me, then you will know where to find me.
Got a good rally going here.
Good serve, Delarosa.
But if I'm not here, then I will probably be at home in my office, trying to figure out how to run my new business. The good thing is that the team Willis Accounting and Consulting got my back. With their help, running a business doesn't feel so difficult anymore. Contact Willis Accounting and Consulting today. They will take care of your business while you go back to the things that you love the most.
RYDF helped us a lot with almost every tournament with the hotel. That it's one of the expenses. Without them, I don't think I could go to every tournament to play. Well, I love racquetball, and
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Bear and Marty Hogan. We're getting ready to start game number 2. Alex Landa takes game number 1, 15-12. This is got to win 2. Games 1 and 2 at a 15. Tiebreaker to 11 if necessary. 0 serving 0. So, Marty, we saw Adam kind of methodically kind of go through not the motions, but he came out, you know, just a little bit short. What adjustments would you tell him to make here at the start of game 2?
Well, I would tell him he's got to, first of all, I think he's got to put a little bit more emphasis on the way he's serving. You know, he's got to gain a little bit more of an advantage versus just kind of like, I don't see the real hardcore intent on his serve of really putting Landa as putting him as a disadvantage. And, one thing Landa does that does very, very well is he does keep his serves mixed up. And when he finds something, you'll see him just be using it a little bit more than the other serves just to keep people kind of like off balance.
Bobby called that it was a fault serve because Adam's racket was breaking that plane, that second line on the court there.
The screen, sir. The screen, yeah. I've actually had an idea that I kicked around to a couple of pros to actually move that line actually in another like 3 feet, just to kind of like prevent like that screen kind of serve that a lot of the players like to line up right next to it.
Yeah.
you know, just to try to entice a little bit more kind of rallying situation than putting some of these guys in what I consider just these massive power servers at such a disadvantage. But the one thing I have noticed is the speed of the players. They can cover those serves that are just unimaginably for us regular players thinking that we could ever recover it. So their speed ability is incredible.
Adam Menia back in the service box at 0-1. Looked like a good serve setup, and he skipped it in.
Giving away too many unforced errors. I mean, that's really the key in a lot of these matches.
He had opportunity there.
Easy. I mean, that's a gimme. That's a point that, I mean, you can't. It's so hard to work a rally and win one that when you do get an easy setup opportunity, just like there, an example, Landa.
Alex is using those lines extremely well.
Absolutely.
He's not killing the ball. It's a good 12 inches, which means it's going to bounce twice before the back wall. No chance to get it. Excellent selection there by Landa.
Yes, very much. A real nice pattern game. Very nice pattern game. Here's a different serving position. So he is trying to mix it up a little bit.
Good pickup there by Menia.
Great pickup. That call could have went either way. They could have let that go, or maybe they could call it sometimes when they're playing so tight on a screen.
Landa looks a little tired. That looked like short second serve. Landa caught up to that one. Adam thought it was 2. No call. Landa wins this rally. You might see him appeal. Landa's calling that he called that a skip on Landa. Well, no harm, no foul there. This is Super Saturday here in New York. We got quarterfinals in the morning, semifinals tonight. I believe they're starting at 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern. That's true.
He's not getting that first serve in. That's a big factor in why he is not gaining any kind of like real momentum during this match.
Yeah, there's been a lot of side outs here. Game 2 is going very slow. Thank you for the Stars, everybody. The Stars program is being developed in full, but right now 100% of all the Stars proceeds are going into player prize money. And it's been raised here this weekend for what you guys did in SoCal, Minnesota, Chicago. Thank you so much. Big thank you to Papa Nicholas Coffee for sending over their coffee machine and free coffee for all the participants and guests here in the facility. Nice little chip backhand there. No answer for Landa. So check them out online, www.papanicholascoffee.com. You can use promotion code Racquetball 50, and you'll get half off. Not bad, 50%.
Nice. Very nice.
Good, another kill shot there by Landa. Landa's making the smarter shots. If we have to gauge, if we had a counter for the smart, like what shots have been really smart, Landa's definitely gaining the upper hand there.
No question about it. And he's kind of like establishing the front court he's not giving up the front court, which has given him the ability of getting a lot of easy kind of setups and being able to put the ball away. See, look at how loose. Yeah, in my opinion, that should be over.
Agreed. Oh, court
But it's
stands
not.
reversed. One appeal used, one serving two. Second serve. We got the legend Marty Hogan in the box in the broadcast booth with us today. So you got a question for Marty, you want to put it in the chat box, and we'll see if keep those questions appropriate. Let's start off with that one. So Marty, let's talk about the scoring for a second, because we talked offline about the way the Pro Tour kind of went from games that were to 21 in the beginning, and then it went 11 and 15. It's been all over the place.
Sure.
What do you think of the scoring now at 15? And then also, that's a hashtag just to replay. Hit the camera in the front of the court.
Sure.
So we're going to replay that one. What do you think of the rally scoring from the international side opposed to the professional side? I don't believe that neither the men's or the women's professional side has any plan to change their scoring as of yet. But what do you think?
I think that's really smart as far as racquetball goes, especially in the U.S., to keep the scoring the way it is and not have the scoring every rally. I think that will take a lot away from the way the game is kind of like played and stuff here. If you're going to go to scoring every single time, if you're going to go to scoring every single time, you've got to adjust the length in which you're going to play the game. In my opinion, the 2 out of 3, 15, third game to 11 is it's the best scoring system. I was glad to see that the tour went away a few years ago from the best out of 5 11-point games. I just think that there was just the game kind of like doesn't develop enough for my
11.
taste. Yeah, to go to 11. When you go to 15, you know, the best player is going to win when you have to go all the way to 15. I mean, back in the old when the dinosaurs ruled the earth and I was on tour, we played 2 out of 3 to 21. And those games were, sometimes were,
Lengthy.
Lengthy. The game was totally different and everything because of the rackets and the way the game was played, and it was good. But as you know, TV and fan kind of interest was taken into consideration. Of course, we made the games a little bit shorter and stuff, and but I think the 2 out of 3 to 15. And keeping the scoring the way it is, that you score only on the serve, just adds more of the drama and more of the competitiveness to the match. If you score every single time, I just think that the game will change. I just think it will change. I personally don't like it. I'd like to see hear what some of the pros would like to say, or even to try it. But I think that racquetball, and particularly the matches, the way the ball moves so fast, and these guys are so incredible. They should be able to utilize that in trying to win games.
Second serve. Game 1 is over, 15-12. We're in game 2. 4-2 is the score on the headpen scoreboard. Landa is in the back. Menia up front. I want to thank you guys for all tuning in.
That was a tremendous shot that these guys make look so easy, that is so incredibly difficult to flat roll out your backhand from 38 feet. That's really tough. That's just unbelievable.
With that power, too.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. the ball's cooking in there at about 160 miles an hour. It's amazing.
So, Marty, there's a question in the box. It's kind of about mental toughness. Was your mental toughness better than anyone? I don't know what your thought is, but did you prepare mentally for the game, or is mental toughness something that you're just born with? It's kind of like one of those abilities. Because most really successful athletes have that.
Well, I think it's something
Or they manage it well.
Yeah, I think you have to develop. That's the mental competitive part it's to me it's 50% of winning. The physical aspect, the training, but you know what, the way your approach is, and let me just say this: there's no one way that is better or whatever. Everybody brings their certain kind of personality, to their game and whatever. But I just found that, when it comes to being competitive, you could take a look at all the great champions, not only in racquetball, but in all different sports. They all do it kind of differently. But in their own certain way, they are very, very intense in their attitude of how they're going to perform, what they're going to do. And in my early stages, it was, and let me just say this about being a professional athlete. Being a professional athlete is a 24-hour, an every day, every moment career, and it's something that you have to be totally consumed with, and it says you learn as much off the court as you do on, and in preparation off is just as important, but you've got to. You gotta believe in yourself, and then you have to have the ability to learn and to grow, so that you can always.
What a rally there, Marty!
That
2
was
dives
incredible.
by Menia and then a flat rollout.
That was incredible.
Let's look at that replay. Landa had the chance here. Look at that one dive right there.
Great catch.
As you were talking about mental toughness, Landa called it. Landa thought it skipped. I don't know.
That did
we
not
were watching
skip.
the replay. I don't know if he appealed or not.
That was incredible. Incredible gets. Just incredible. Ball's moving around 160 miles an hour, and these guys make it look like it's moving 30 miles an hour. Just amazing just how quick and all their adjustments are.
What's your thoughts on the facilities today? Because you've been here for a couple of days. This facility has that old racquetball feel. It used to have a bunch of courts. Obviously, they don't have it anymore. But what it doesn't have is a stadium court with kind of seating and stuff. What was that like back in the 80s, playing in front of, I don't know, how many people were in the stands? 300, 400, 500 a clip?
Sometimes a lot more and stuff. We the tour back in the 70s and 80s, we never went to a facility that didn't have basically a 3-wall glass, almost kind of like they used to call them, almost like fish bowls we played in.
Like Syosset.
Yeah, exactly. Some great facilities that we've lost, not only because of just the economics and stuff of racquetball, but then of how expensive the real estate and stuff has gotten. But, we used to, we never went to a club that didn't have, at minimum, two glass walls, because the clubs would, that's just
It would
revenue.
be a fire hazard.
Well,
and revenue.
Well, it is exactly that. You could see, the seats used to sell for hundreds of dollars to watch us play and stuff, and sort of big revenue makers for the clubs and stuff, so.
It's good. That's right. This facility never, ever, ever had a pro stop. All the pro stops were always in Syosset, and obviously the gym closed. And when I went to the owner, he's like, "I would love to have it here. No one's ever brought me the idea." And Sudsy's in the chat box when we had the Long Island Open with over 1,000 players, and they used to do the draw by hand, which doing it on the computer is stressful enough. So hats off to all those people who did draw sheets by hand, to be honest.
That's amazing. You think back in those days, and yes, they did do it by hand. And then, yes, the Long Island Open was one of the biggest in the nation and stuff. They used to have over 1,000 entries.
Yeah, I think
Which is
Bob Supple told me the highest one they ever had was 1,230 or something like that.
That's
participants.
magnificent. Yeah, that's
and that's
great.
that's the highest division was open. That wasn't even the pro level.
Exactly. I mean, just people love to play, love to compete. Go to the. They were just more than racquetball events. They were incredible.
I remember the sponsors that they used to have were insane. There would be the Bud Light truck out front and the Bud Light girls, serving and the T-shirts. You couldn't fit a sponsor on the back of a T-shirt. Froze Fruit was one of the biggest sponsors. They always had like a chest of just free those frozen fruit bars.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's great.
What I would give to go back, if I could choose to go back to a moment, I would probably go back to one of the first or second of the Long Island Opens that I went to. I think it was the 8th annual was my first one, and I was just in amazement. Couldn't believe it.
Oh, it's so exciting to be a part of it back then because there was so much kind of like enthusiasm and everything. And then they just simply, if you had a tournament, you'd easily have 300 to 500 people in the tournaments and
Well,
stuff.
most places had 10, 20, 25. We had a club here
accommodate
that
it.
was 25 courts.
Yes.
I can't imagine today walking into a facility that has 25 racquetball courts.
Yeah. It's amazing, but that used to be almost like the norm. It's a lot. I can't tell you how many facilities I've been to that had 20-plus courts.
All right, Marty, let's get back now to the action on center court because this game is starting to move north. Landa has a 3-point lead, but Menia has been serving. Well, that's an ace. Landa thought it was short. And Landa asking some of the crowd, was it good, was it bad? He's getting no response. So
obviously the call was right then by the ref.
Adam Menia going for a second serve, a nice little high lob. Landa likes to cut everything off. Can't cut off that clip serve. But there's a reverse pinch. Nice get by Landa. Set up Menia. Another good pickup. Another good pickup. And a beautiful pass, Landa down the line. Menia got a little too cute with that other cross court. Another good pickup. Another good pickup. And Landa made him pay straight down the line. And a beautiful defending world champion Alex Landa from Guatemala in 2021 in December. That was an excellent event. Team USA did very well. So hats off to them. Definitely looking forward to the Team USA Nationals in a couple weeks, I believe it is. Nice splat right there. And Menia goes back in the box. He's in there at 4-6 on the headpen scoreboard. Menia's really got to get that first serve in again. You brought that up before, Marty, that his first serve has been kind of short. He hasn't really landed a couple of them. And there he got one there, but he skipped in that one. A little too long, a little high.
I just think that he's just not putting the most emphasis on that serve. I think he could do more with it. And I saw where he varied at one time where he was his stance and stuff, but I just think he has to do more with the serve.
Yeah, he's doing his return to serve has been stellar here today.
Very solid. Yes, very solid.
Yeah, Adam's really changing up the serves lately, because I think he's really trying to find one that's going to give Landa some trouble and then dial in. But he's winning some pretty good rallies, and there's a good one here down the line. That was too high. Landa's going to put that into the ground. Excellent rally there. Pinch kill by Landa. Menia comes up short.
He's just not pressuring him that much during the rally either. He's trying to play like a pattern kind of game versus really going for it with the first opportunity. I don't think that's a recipe for beating a guy of Landa's skill level.
Yeah, what I'm seeing last couple rallies from Adam is I think he's rushing his shot, and it's kind of gumming. It's up a little bit. A lot of his shots are a little too high. And that one's flat. Very nice adjustment there.
That was a tremendous shot.
So Adam Menia trying to push this to a tiebreaker. We're at 4-6.
He's got to make his move pretty soon.
Pretty clean shot down the line by Menia. Wow, what a pinch kill by a forehand from Adam Menia. That was execution. A little bit off the back wall. Menia had, you knew he was going to pinch, but it was just too perfect. Landa could not catch up to that rollout.
His forehand is I think he should be a little bit more aggressive, you know, with that forehand, going for the first shot, because just like that last shot, it was an incredible shot. He possesses all the weapons here to
much better
give
serve.
Landa trouble. Yeah, absolutely. There it is.
But he skipped it in.
Gave away a free one. Just
had
free.
A nice big setup and skipped it in.
Yeah, free unforced error. When those start adding up, that's a big telltale at the end of a match. If somebody's going to win a point, I've always felt, you know, make them hit a winner. Make them work for it. Don't give them a free one. Don't put the ball into the ground. That's Racquetball 101. Never, ever.
Hello, I'm Mike
possible
Lindell,
skip that
and as
ball.
you know,
Make 'em-
my passion
they're gonna
is
get,
to
if
help
they're going to get a
each and
point,
every
make them
one of
earn
you
it.
get the best.
Short serve, second serve coming up. Starting to get crowded here. Wantagh. There's that. Looked like a flat rollout. Peel used, call stands.
I think we're moving to the critical point in this game, in this match, to where if Landa gets another 2 or 3 point lead, I think it may be a little bit too much for Adam to overtake.
Yeah, well, last night he came back from Lalo. I think he was down 7-2 or something in a breaker, I think someone said. You know, Adam grinds, and that's what he's been doing lately. He hasn't been, he's been not shooting well or making the right decisions when he's serving, but on the receiving side, he's being crisp and clean. Landa back in the service box at 7-5. See what I'm saying? When Menia's on defense, he's making crisp, clean shots.
Oh yeah, yeah. His strokes are, I mean, the way he strokes the ball, he possesses everything that you would want in having having success. When you can generate the power. He's got great control. Great speed.
Landa slipped. Going to have a towel timeout sponsored by the Zurich Foundation, constructing athletes and building people. Adam was down yesterday 7-0 and won 11-7. That says it right there about a comeback. He possesses, and in a breaker, that's even more, that's more difficult. So he definitely possesses the tools that he can come back here, even, from a big deficit.
I think that's one thing about the pro level of a lot of these guys. They all possess the ability of just getting on a roll regardless and fighting their way back in. And the real experience, the good players will try to, it's very, very difficult, but they all possess the game to be able to come back.
Adam is really making Landa work for his points, that's for sure.
He's a tough player and stuff. I just think a lot of balls that he hits are a little bit too loose at this level.
Skipped in. Speaking of underrated shot, a ceiling ball is for players to have a really good ceiling ball. That could make or break some of the match.
Racquetball, especially the pro. Especially the pro game. The pro game. As there was a couple of
Landis wants us to correct the scoreboard.
But everything is with a pro game is about how much power and heat you can put on the ball and da. But the ceiling ball is a very, very effective shot. It's a momentum changer, and also too, if you make it really tight to that side wall, it can get the same result as a blistering.
Adam Menia going for a drive serve now. Short serve. That's a good choice of serves, and Landa just ripped it. I thought it was going to be really good. That half kind of Z, it looked like it was going to die in the corner, but it just slipped off the back wall, and Landa was able to pinch kill it.
That just goes to show you the level of these guys. Any little opening or mistake, and they can hit any shot, any winning shot off of it.
I think that's the difference in a very good point. The difference from open players when they come to start to play, the pro players, they can kill the ball from anywhere.
Absolutely, and anything loose is an opportunity at this level. Anything that isn't a very, very specific shot.
Two mistakes, one by Landa, one by Menia. They just kept the ball up way too much there, and it was a pinch kill shot by Adam Menia. We're at 5-9 on the head pen scoreboard.
We're moving to the part of this match to where the score is going to be a real big time factor of Menia's match. He's got to find a way to close this gap to make this a little bit of a tighter game to put some pressure on Landa.
Going to be a replay.
Even though Adam's been in there serving, a whole bunch of times he hasn't really generated that much of any momentum. He's been like stuck on 5.
Yeah, and I think it goes down to that first serve again. He's not landing it exactly where he wants it, like right over the short line. He's being deceptive, but it's coming up short. Like there's a good one, but it came off the back wall. But a loose return by Landa, and now another point for Adam Menia.
Now's the time for him to make his move.
Good diving get there by Menia, but he skipped it in. Towel timeout sponsored by Zurich Foundation, constructing athletes and building people. A couple other people we need to thank here on the local level. Manish Panjari, Anchor and Shane Realty, Tony's Tree Trimmings.com, Homeline Properties, Merck Service Station, Douglas Kitchens and Bath. Those are all of our local sponsors here. Again, you're watching Free Racquetball thanks to the IRT sponsors. That's Headpen, My Pillow, Gearbox, Zurich Foundation, and the Reaching Your Dream Foundation. So thank you guys for your support of the tour and for supporting these athletes. Nice slap kill by Landa again. Double digits for Alex Landa. 10 serve 6 on the Headpen scoreboard. Landa looking to move to 11. And there you have it, 11. Landa taking his time to drive. Usually not. Crack ace winner.
Wow.
And you know what's different? He really took his time there. He usually is a very, very fast server. So that was good to see that he kind of took his time.
He's controlling this game. You know, he really is. He's pretty much having it all his way, and he could just continue to just
wow,
run
an ace
out.
serve
There
the
it
other
is.
way. Wow, what can't Alex Landa do?
Right.
Unbelievable.
Very tough, very tough. I think he kind of like smells the blood in the water. He's going in here for the finish.
Landa's coming in as the 4 seed to Menia's 12 seed. Menia took out, like you said, he took out the 5 seed, Portillo. Oh, changed up the serve, and Menia skipped that one in. We're at match point number 1 on the Headpen scoreboard, 14 serve 6. Landa looking for the crack ace to end it.
Of course.
I mean, he moved crack ace from one side to the other, so.
He has been serving, and that's really the story of this match is that Landa serve was just so much more effective, than Adam and stuff. And Adam just really couldn't get that momentum, get on that roll. And
good change
we
up.
We talked earlier about experience, and this match right here it feels just like that Landa has just a little bit too much experience here for Adam.
So that was a wet wall. That was a wet serve. So the ball might have skidded off that first surface. The referee called that. And I'm trying to see if it's first serve or second serve. 14 serve 6, so it's the first opportunity for Landa to move on to the semifinals tonight. Good serve, set up off the back wall. Reverse pinch winner Landa. Landa will move
What a nice
on.
match. Nice, well-played match. Well played.
Wow. Well, Marty, that was fantastic. Good serve. It's lunchtime. Set up off the back wall. No.
That was great, D.
Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. Your insight to the game and the past with pressure, in the past plus the present. Seeing these guys working right here. it was a pleasure. So thank you so much for stopping by.
That's
I'm
great, Dean. The pleasure's all mine. It's great watching these guys play. They're amazing.
I'm sure we're going to see you before the weekend's out. Right now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Alex Landa in the winner's circle right here on IRT Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you can buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or you can get my classic premium My Pillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com. Use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all My Pillow products.
I remember Rafa went to San Luis Potosí to my club to give a clinic, and then Rafa started to play with every kid. Every single kid he played one game to 15, and he was saying, if you beat me, I'm gonna sponsor you, right? And I beat him, 15-14, I remember. When you play, I mean, of course you wanna win, but you also wanna look cool winning, right? And the Gearbox shorts, the t-shirts, the hats, the headbands, I mean, they are simple, but I like simple. I mean, they look great.
RYDF helped us a lot with almost every tournament with the hotel. That it's one of the expenses. Without them, I don't think I could go to every tournament to play. Well, I love racquetball and I want to be the best. I want to be one of the youngest players to ever win a title or the US Open.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So our third quarterfinal winner, Alex Landa, back in the winner's circle. Tough match against Adam Menia. One of the things that we saw, me and Marty Hogan were doing that match, was your serves were extremely well. Is that something that was in your game plan?
Yeah, you know, my game is a powerful game, so I always try to make the first serve in so I can control the rally.
Couple of crack aces in the end of the game. It's got to give you a lot of confidence. Was your game plan against a lefty like that to kind of mix up the serves a little much?
Oh yeah, that's what I tried from the beginning, mix up the serves. But I think my serve to his backhand worked pretty well today.
Some of the things we were talking about during the match was kind of like game preparation and kind of mind control. Do you do any of that? Do you have any type of like preparation you do before a match?
Yeah, I like to stretch a lot. I run a little bit. Sometimes I listen to music, or sometimes I remember matches from the past that I won, titles, good memories, so I can get motivated.
So, got some sponsors you need to thank, Alex?
Of course, thank you, Richard and Dream Foundation, for their support. My new clothing line, One Wall Ball. Thank you, Ruben. I really appreciate the effort.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good luck in the semifinals. Alex Landa coming up next. De La Rosa is taking on, I forgot, Mario Mercado right here on IRT Live.